Welcome to the back of my cab, Paul. What actually are we sitting here?
We are sitting in one of London's finest. This is an institution in England, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a, what is this? It's a 2017 TX4 London cab. Now, who's it made by?
Now, Gilby?
Geely.
What's Gilby? Gilby's a car as well. Yeah, why not? I think so.
I thought that was Oscar's brother.
A Geely.
Geely.
Which is part of another group, isn't it?
It's Volvo.
It is Volvo?
So when you see one of those Polestars or whatever, it's actually built by Geely.
Right.
And Polestars that perform.
So this is it says here on a sticker I'm reading, people, it says building a British icon with pride.
Yeah.
So it's a British icon.
Yeah.
Built where? India?
China.
With a whose engine?
Italian.
What's British about it?
The sticker.
The sticker.
Yeah,
oh, they got us.
Yeah.
They got us on a technicality. So the sticker's British.
So why are we actually doing this? Why are we electrifying this thing?
To sort of keep these things going, because the London, what is it? Their congestion tax and their, I don't know. They've got this weird thing now where
cameras.
You basically got to pay to drive a dinosaur.
You know, it'd probably be $50 a day.
Just to drive around in London.
And then they'll ban them because they're diesel from going in there at all shortly.
That won't be far away.
No. And there's these 4 or 5 year old, perfectly good running TX4s around, which is what this is. And so we're going to make like an IKEA style flatback kit.
This one, perfectly good. It's still got the plastic wrapping on it.
Hear that?
It's mint. Just charm.
I don't know if I like things being wrapped in plastic in the back of a cab.
Well, there's a good reason for it.
Yeah.
It's easier to wipe clean.
Okay. But yeah, so this is our project. And ergonomically, it's quite an interesting sort of vehicle, isn't it? Like the layout's weird and it's going to be really tough to convert, though.
Yeah. I think you got to, like you said earlier, the engine's out, the trans is out. It's giving you a whole heap of room.
But that.
Why is it still this car? It feels dated and old.
But it's meant to. It's an icon.
Oh, because it's London, it's dated and old. Is that what you're saying?
And it smells a bit like a turtle tank in here too.
It does. I thought that was you, but no.
It's
Turtle Tank Donnan. That's what they used to call you.
It's going to be a really hard car to integrate. Why is that? Because of all of the switchgear and comms and stuff.
Surely that's just 12 volt. You just need like a normal 12 volt feed.
Half of it didn't work when it was new.
That's right. I remember testing it. I drove this around.
And that window stopped working.
Yes.
And all sorts of stuff like that. You did drive it around, didn't you?
I did drive it around, yeah.
What interesting pickups did you get?
Oh, there was a lot of people that couldn't pay their fare, Marty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, strange offers. Strange people out there.
But it's going to be a really cool thing. Making it work is going to be a little bit tougher than that, obviously, because, you know, it just is a tough thing to make work. But that's what we're here for, all of the tough jobs, Paul.
Yeah, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it.
I think so.
And if it's slightly complicated, maybe we'll pull it off.
So let's
if
go
it's real hard, we'll get someone else to do it.
Let's go and have a look at the big hole on the front of it.
Do it.
Okay, and this is like where it all happens. This is the engine room, basically, and now it's just a massive hole.
Yeah.
And stuffing that full of batteries and slamming a motor in it and throwing all existing stuff in the bin is a pretty simple job, right? Yeah. Making the rest of all of this work, less so.
Yes. You're going to incorporate a heater. I see 2 coolant lines over there. It'll probably go to a heater core.
Resistive heating, electric.
Like
just like the Leaf. But the AC system is also going to have to be electric, but we're trying to keep as much of the structure or the infrastructure in the car as possible. So when someone prangs one of these, they can still get TX4 parts and screw into it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So power...
It's all doable. Now, think about the Leaf's got a heater.
Yeah.
Is that run off the...
Yeah, exactly resistive,
The air conditioner.
You can buy electric compressors.
So, okay. So
but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Going better?
I'm going better because I want to keep the standard power steering, manual, hydraulic power steering. I want to keep the standard air conditioning system.
Just get electric pump?
No. Standard compressor. How am I going to do that, Paul?
Very difficultly, Marty, because the motor stops turning when you're not pressing the pedal.
So what I'm going to do...
Here we go. Enlighten me.
I'm going to make like an engine plate with the pulley structure on it. being turned by an auxiliary motor. Right. So there'd be an auxiliary electric motor driving the belt structure that was in the car. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So that when the thing does a power steering pump or whatever, you go down to your local Geely store and buy the TX4 part for it.
Yep.
It's going to eat a lot of room though, so you can see already just all the standard fans and aircon are eating into my battery space, which is going to have to be a big cube.
Yes.
In the front of it.
I'm guessing then, being an electric motor, you could set that up anywhere you liked to run the.
It's still got to drive the belt structure, so it's got to be keyed into that, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you don't have. You could set up a belt that drives a set of whatevers from wherever you like.
A set of whatevers from wherever you like. Engineering,
a compressor.
finesse.
You don't have to have it here.
That's
the
right.
world is your oyster, Martin.
It's so there are going to be some really interesting technical challenges involved here.
A few.
But the very first stage of this development, before I go putting my hand out for funding, actually got any money? is to turn it into an electric golf cart, just so that it drives by itself without any integration. The integration is going to take as long as a powertrain set up, and it's going to be difficult. So first up, we're just going to get it to drive. And we're going to do a maiden voyage, hopefully next month, when you're going to be in the back.
I will be here.
With a fire extinguisher.
Fire extinguisher for a battery fire.
Yeah, maybe a big long garden hose. But anyway, it's going to be a good thing. Obviously, we're putting all the safeties into it so that none of these things happen. But, anything. Look, normally, what do they say? The most humorous outcome is the most likely.
Yeah.
And like these episodes.
Yeah, when you're involved. Yeah, it's possible, isn't it? Let's face it. Anything could happen.
And that's why we do it.
I think it'll work. I'm pretty confident it will work.
Okay, well, let's go have a look at the workings of it.
Done.
And here we are at the nerve centre of the cab. Quite an impressive sort of wild-looking setup, isn't it, Paul?
It's agricultural, I will say, Marty. Like, this isn't obviously the final phase.
No, this is what's
Don't be alarmed, people.
This is what's called a bench test.
A work in progress.
Right.
Yeah,
So what's
these
this
mounts, they're not.
That's just it probably doesn't need that, but I just put a G-clamp on it just to make sure it can't jump off.
Right.
What's this big yellow thing?
Well, that is your battery pack. And
About a third of it.
It's fairly extensive, and every time I come here and any time I work in this particular area, you always warn me. Every time.
Don't short it.
Don't put any tools on it.
130 volts DC across those two poles there. So
on a giant metal bench.
Of course. What could go wrong? No, it's nicely isolated. So that's a battery pack.
Yep.
What's that thing?
Well, this is the actual
90 kilowatt motor.
Viper 9, is that what it was?
Yeah,
something like that.
And it's Italian as well.
Italian made.
Yeah, so Italian replacing the Italian.
It's a fairly heavy, substantial bit of kit. And
75 kilos.
Yeah, 90 kilowatts of power. That's
out of something that small.
Pretty impressive, really.
It's a permanent magnet reluctance motor.
Okay.
So
that just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's the same sort of design as a Model 3, but you can also see that it's air-cooled. It's got some finning. It does get a bit warm when you're running it, but the thermal management side of it we'll get into.
Yep.
What's a box over the other side of it, the black one?
Well, that looks like it's the command centre for the power in.
That's the ECU.
That does the whole lot. Yeah.
That's what you program,
yep.
right? And over here, this bit here is the battery management system. So that bit there looks after the output of the engine. And this bit here looks after the health and the state of the batteries. And this bit here makes it go.
Which I like how it's attached to a bit of wood. Yeah.
That's Edward.
That's
Edward Woodward.
Yeah, he would.
Could you just power us up, please, Paul?
Right. Now, it's all safe to do so?
I don't know. Yes, it's safe to do so. Okay, it's on.
Can't hear anything.
No, you will. Turn that switch there on, the master. That's your ignition switch. Now wait. Hear that?
We're live, people.
That's the contactor.
We're live.
That's the contactor kicking in to energise the entire system.
Right.
So now we're driving.
Quite a soothing little hum, hasn't it? Ooh. Don't look so alarmed, buddy. You're scaring me.
There is your speed in mile per hour.
Right.
Slowly use the, no, we're in reverse at the moment. I'll just flick it into forward. So there's your drive switch.
Right.
So, come on, get in there. There you go. Right.
Drive. Let's go. We're not going anywhere much. We're off.
Paul this is the way he drives. Get out of the way, let
Why
me do
was
it.
there a delay there?
There was no delay. Look. This is how you do it properly. It's all in the finesse. Now this has got a throttle curve, a calibration in it that Gareth programmed.
That would explain what happened then. That is pretty impressive.
100 k's
Just
an
a
hour.
quick blast up to 100. That's not bad, is it?
But what's it doing now? It's just free
Coasting
revving down,
down,
coasting
yeah.
down. Now when it
energy.
slows down, we want to harness that power back into the battery pack, don't we?
Indeed.
So what we'll do now is I've got regen, where it self-charges the battery, low and high. So let's put regen on low.
Why two? Why low and
Well, it
high?
depends. You can it's like a Tesla. You can make it more or less aggressive. See that? So that's
that thing coming up to the lights where you won't need to use the brake pedal, isn't
that's
it?
right. 1 foot driving.
Yeah.
But you see, it seems quite aggressive there. But when you've got the weight of the vehicle, the mass of the vehicle on it, it may not be very aggressive at all. So in this instance, we will then switch back to. No.
I've seen
back to
this
high
before.
regen.
Right. How fast?
Let go. That's why I've got a G clamp on it, everyone.
She's going to need some good engine mounts,
Well, yeah.
I reckon.
You like that?
That's impressive.
Good
it's actually
torque
pretty good.
reaction.
Yeah. That's instant power, instant torque.
But what
I
I
want to
would-
get the taxi moving.
But what we've also done, because without any regen going, we've got a top speed of 8,000 RPM, 90 mile an hour.
Miles?
Yeah, that's 140k an hour.
Yeah, okay.
Right? That's our top speed, which should be more than
It'll get you speeding fine.
it'll do, because with the wheel size on it, the diff ratio, it's got 411s in it, bro.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah, it'll do about 140 k's an hour indicated or flat out. And I'm pretty sure standard they would have only done, lucky to do 100 and 110.
Well, they have no need.
That's right. But what I have done to make it a bit less violent is in reverse. So look, in forwards, it's very responsive, right?
Yep.
But in reverse, you can map the throttle differently so that there's the brakes there, by the way. You can, in reverse, hit it.
Let's do it. Oh, look at that.
Limited.
You could drive all day at that.
27 mile per hour is as fast as we'll let you go in reverse. So there's all sorts of calibrations that you do with the laptop to set it all up.
Yep.
And that bracket is designed to bolt in to the trans tunnel. So this will live in the trans tunnel.
Yep.
3 lots of this will be stacked in a cube and sit in the engine bay.
Got another spot down the back, haven't you?
Now, I don't really want to run that
Fuel
mess of
tank.
cabling.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a big
The fuel tank's got to go.
the diesel tank. Yeah, that's out of it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of room under there to put all sorts of things.
And the exhaust system, that's gone.
It's just ballast.
So yeah, there's a lot going on here and a lot to unpack, but it does work. You can see now, you can drive it yourself, and you know, I've got to make the shifter work properly. And
Impressive work, Marty.
well, I
Looking forward
didn't.
to seeing it.
Gareth did most of it. All I did is say, "Get this thing working." I didn't really
Good work,
do much
Gareth.
at all. But I'll
Yeah.
claim all the credit till something goes wrong. Then it's his doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's the way
yeah,
it's done.
there you have it. There's where we're at. So we're going to bolt it in over the next few weeks. The only tricky bit left to do is the drive coupling between the output shaft and the tail shaft of the car.
Yeah.
That has proven to be difficult.
Yes.
Because you need high durability, you need something that's serviceable and sort of like OEM, and that really is tricky. But hey,
It needs to be soft too, doesn't it, really?
yeah, because there's a lot of rigid, hard-mounted stuff
Yep.
going on here,
Yep.
and we want to reduce NVH as much as we can, noise,
Yep.
vibration, and harshness.
I like it.
And we want to make it so, of course, when you hit the throttle, it doesn't like rip the entire rear end out of the
Yeah.
car. So that's what all of this throttle mapping
A
and
rubber donut.
so on is. So you turn it off. You turn it off there on the master, in order.
Right.
Now turn it off on the main. And that's
It's
it.
safe.
So there you have it, Paul.
Good work, buddy.
Let's get to work.
Done.
Okay, and here we have it, Paul.
Yeah.
This is a comparison. This is a simulation, because of course I haven't had the power unit running in the cab yet.
Yep.
However, this is a simulation of what to expect. You see that blue line up there?
That one.
66.1?
Huge power curve.
Yeah. That is how the cab ran standard.
That is a London taxi. That's pretty much brand new, no Ks kind of thing, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah. That's what
that's
you
a
get.
2.5 litre turbo diesel doing that. making a couple of 100 Newton meters and 66.
Is it making any boost?
Yeah, no, it drove like a London taxi drives. And here's
66.
Here's the thing.
It's hard to
the
believe.
VM Motori, the Italian power unit in the Chinese cab, that's...
Yep, I'll get it.
You're the only one. It weighed, what do you reckon the engine and transmission weighed? It was a Chrysler, like a Chrysler 5-speed
I
box.
saw the thing and it looked like a lead ingot. It was a monstrous thing for a little motor. I'm going to guess a ton with the trans.
425 kilograms.
Oh, it looked heavier than that. I saw it. I thought it looked like about a ton weight. Like trans, engine. Oh, it's not front wheel drive.
No.
It's rear wheel drive.
Yeah. So, big long thing. So what do you reckon my power unit and, say, a 35 kilowatt hour battery pack's going to weigh?
Nowhere near that.
425 kilograms.
Really?
Identical.
So it's not what you've got set up out
Well,
there?
just a bit more battery than that.
Right.
That's
There's
only a test
no
cell.
way that weighs 400 odd kilos.
No.
Okay, you're going to add more battery?
Yeah. So that means I won't have to change the suspension,
geometry,
steering,
everything
braking.
will be sweet. You could actually put it where you'd prefer, though. Make
you
it a
can't,
better
really.
handling vehicle.
No, you can't really, mate.
Can't?
It's all
Why
going
not?
in the snoot so that I don't upset any of the balance of the
Yeah,
car.
okay.
That's really important consideration when you're doing something like this. But this is actually a Nissan Leaf motor at the top, power unit, but how's the delivery and torque versus the
power
turbo
curve.
diesel?
It makes 90, kind of from idle.
Yep. All the way to 140 k's an hour at speed limited.
Speed limited,
I reckon it is.
Doesn't
yeah.
just fall off
Just
the cliff.
falls off the cliff when you drive it. I was doing that on a controlled test track, by the way.
140?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the dyno, probably.
Yes.
Now, 550 Newton meters of torque
Yeah.
versus
It's got basically, I think you'll say double the torque. I mean, the power unit we're using out
Everywhere.
there should have a lot more torque than
Yeah.
the VM Motori. But, that's something that's yet to be seen.
what's a taxi do all of its life?
Crawl around, picking up
Stop,
people.
start.
Stop,
It's
start.
just, look where it's going to be sitting with the electric motor versus...
That's right.
Yeah.
It's going to be very friendly. Speaking of friendly, time to move on to the next subject.